Picture the electrifying energy of the NBA trade deadline, where dreams are made, alliances shift, and the destiny of franchises hang in the balance. As the clock ticks down, rumors swirl and fans hold their breath. The stage is set for blockbuster deals that could redefine the league's landscape. Get ready to dive into the heart-pounding world of NBA trade talks, where every whisper carries the potential to shape the future of basketball's biggest stars. These are the top NBA players that need to be traded before the trade deadline. At number 1, we have Alex Caruso. And well, the Chicago Bulls are making it hell to acquire our precious bald goat. According to some reports, the Bulls have announced that they would want multiple first-round picks to even consider trading him away. They've even been open about how reluctant they are to even pick up the phone regarding calls about him. For whatever reason, they are hell-bent on keeping him in Chicago. And I'm not saying for whatever reason like he's a bad player or anything, but I just don't understand why they would need him at this stage in his career in their organization. Caruso is a championship player, and as we all know, the Bulls won't be sniffing an NBA Finals, not this season, not next, or even 5 years after that. This team can't really do much of anything. They're one of the worst scoring teams in basketball despite having 2 big-time bucket getters. They can't shoot the 3 at a high level, they're in the middle of the pack when it comes to rebounding, and their defense seems to get worse and worse each month. The reluctance to trade Caruso kind of reminds me of the Miles Turner and Buddy Hield situation over the last couple of seasons. The Pacers basically made it public that they had those two on the market. But at the same time, they were shooting down any offer thrown their way. Their asking price would be ridiculous. However, it eventually worked out. Now they're paired with a superstar guard in Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. Maybe they're hoping for the same results. Maybe they think Kobe White is the real deal and that they can turn things around big time. I don't know. I just don't see it. Caruso deserves to be on a top 5 team in the NBA, such a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. After recently firing their head coach Adrian Griffin, many wondered why. Well, look no further than their poor defense. They have one of the worst defenses despite having Brook Lopez and Giannis. Alex Caruso is without a doubt a top 10 defender in the NBA. He can single-handedly change defenses with his disruptiveness and tenacity on ball defense. He's in the same ballpark as Drew Holiday, so sliding in Caruso with Brook and Giannis would be identical to last season where Milwaukee had a great defense. The only realistic deal I see happening is Milwaukee sending Bobby Portis, Marjon Beauchamp, Andre Jackson and their 2024 first-round pick to Chicago for Alex Caruso. And before y'all say that's too much, you have to understand that the Bucks have a much higher chance to win a title with Caruso than without him. It really is that simple. As of right now, Giannis and Dame would both have to average like 40 to even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Defense wins championships. We've heard that over and over again. Alex Caruso is as good on defense as Steph Curry is on offense. It's a no-brainer. But I want you guys to let me know where you would like Caruso to play. Let me know in the comments below. The second guy on this list is some mediocre NBA player. I think his name might be Klay Thomas. Wait, that doesn't sound right because it's Klay effing Thompson. All jokes aside, this man is one of the greatest shooters the world has ever seen. And I truly don't understand all of the hate that surrounds him from the fans. He has endured career-level ending injuries over the past few seasons, yet he still manages to be a high-quality player. Of course, he isn't the same Klay as he was in 2016. I mean, he has torn his ACL and Achilles, and there isn't too many worse combinations in basketball. But okay, why should he be traded? Well, I think the Golden State Warriors dynasty is on its last legs. And it hurts to even say that, but I think it's a reality. Neither of the Warriors trio are the same, not Steph, Klay, or Dre. And I'm not saying they're bad at all, but nowhere near a title contending threat. I feel as if they could all benefit from a departure, especially Klay. There are so many top-level teams who need him, such as the Lakers. The Lake Show is in a tough spot. They definitely need more than just one piece to turn things around. But if you give a great passer like LeBron a Klay Thompson, it's impossible for good things to not happen. To get this deal done, I would send Rui Hachimura, Taurean Prince, D'Angelo Russell, and Max Christie to Golden State for him. And I know that is very risky for the Lakers, but it's a move they have to be willing to make if they want to see change. A starting 5 of Austin Reeves, Klay Thompson, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis could be legit. And they would still have Christian Wood, Cam Reddish, and Jackson Hayes off the bench. I know that doesn't sound that attractive, but if they were to sign or trade for at least 2 more players, this could go to be one of the most underrated trades of the decade. However, if it doesn't work out, it could also go down as one of the worst. As for the Warriors, I really think they would accept Rui, Prince, Russell, and Max Christie. It really just all depends on what direction they want to go, though. Nonetheless, Klay is still shooting nearly 40% from 3, so ignore what the media is telling you. He's still one of the best shooters in the NBA and plays respectable defense, plus he's a champion. That alone separates him from most other potential targets for the Lakers. You guys let me know what you think. The third player on our list comes from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell. When the Jazz traded Mitchell to the Cavs, we all thought this was going to be a great team moving forward. And the first year, it was, up until the postseason. A young core of Darius Garland, Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro, and Jarrett Allen seems phenomenal on paper. However, it just hasn't worked out as expected this year. They actually are one of the better teams in the NBA right now, but nobody thinks they are a title contending team. And with Evan Mobley dealing with injury and Darius Garland recently coming back from a broken jaw, it's not looking too pretty in Cleveland. Therefore, there have been reports that Mitchell wants out. The New York Knicks seem like the perfect team for him, and it would end the whole Donovan Mitchell to New York thing that has been going on for like 3 years now. But with the Knicks popping off and emerging as one of the best teams in the NBA, I seriously doubt that they would want to mess that up by giving up their key role players. Keep in mind that the Knicks have been on fire even without Mitchell Robinson, so that gives them even more confidence that they don't need to get desperate and look for a trade. However, I do think the 76ers should grab him. The 76ers, led by Embiid, have been great this year, but with the amount of firepower in the East, they are not getting past Boston, Milwaukee, or even the Knicks in a 7-game series, unless Embiid can average 36 in the postseason, which isn't something I would bet on. That's why they should pursue Mitchell, sending DeAnthony Melton, Paul Reed, Marcus Morris Sr., KJ Martin, 2 first-round picks, and a second to the Cavs. But there is one thing about that, though. The 76ers would have a Donovan Mitchell and Tyrese Maxey backcourt, which wouldn't be great defensively. And we've seen how bad the Harden and Maxey backcourt was defensively. So this trade could possibly repeat that, while also gutting their depth. So that's why I would trade Tyrese Maxey, Nicholas Batum, and Marcus Morris Sr. and the 2024 first round to the Cavs for Mitchell. This way, the 76ers can keep their elite defensive pieces like DeAnthony Melton, Paul Reed, and Robert Covington. Now look, Maxey is an all-star, putting up 25 per game at 23 years old, but Mitchell is putting up 27, has been much better than him defensively, and has more experience. He's also more efficient from the field, and everything else is pretty much identical in terms of rebounding, assists, and free throw percentage. This would be a win-win trade. A lineup of DeAnthony Melton, Mitchell, Tobias Harris, Covington, and Embiid would be one of the better two-way lineups in the league. But let me know what you think. I really love this idea. The fourth player that needs to be traded is Trae Young. The Atlanta Hawks have deemed him untouchable, but he still needs to get the hell out of there. Some way, somehow. After failing to trade for Pascal Siakam or OG, there aren't many other moves out there that can make them contenders. I mean, I know they could trade DeJounte and Clint Capella for a star, but the only quote-unquote stars in trade talks regarding Murray are players like D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura. And while they are good role players, they aren't stars that Trae Young needs to make a title push. I've also heard about them wanting to send Murray back to San Antonio, maybe for someone like Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. But again, neither of them are stars. Mikal Bridges could be a target, but he's not going to move the needle either. The roster just isn't good, and a duo of Trae and Mikal Bridges won't fix that. Lauri Markkanen could be a nice upgrade, but again, it's not really going to move the needle. So unless the Hawks are somehow able to trade for someone like Paul George or Steph Curry, then they need to free Ice Trae. I would strongly prefer a New Orleans Pelicans trade, sending Trae Young to the Pelicans for CJ McCollum, Jordan Hawkins, Trey Murphy, and Jose Alvarado. The Pelicans have been pretty good this season, actually, but I don't think anyone has them beating the Clippers, Timberwolves, Nuggets, or especially the mighty Thunder in a series. Not only will CJ and Zion's injury concerns be a problem when the playoffs come around, but neither of their 2 stars, Zion nor Brandon Ingram, are experienced in the playoffs. But Ice Trae is. The Hawks should be more than satisfied with Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins, and Jose Alvarado, but they could either play or trade CJ for even more assets depending on the direction they want to take. I just love the sound of a Trae Young, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, Zion, and Jonas starting 5. And then you would still have Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance Jr., and Najee Marshall defensively off the bench. Let me know what you think of this one. And then the fifth and final player that needs a new home is DeMar DeRozan. He has been great this season, but like we mentioned in the Alex Caruso segment, the Bulls aren't championship contenders, nor will they be anytime soon. So a 34-year-old DeMar isn't that much of use to them. He's averaging 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists per game while shooting 46% from the field and 34% from deep. He is still a top 3 mid-range scorer at worst right now. His ability to score at the highest level is sure to attract just about any team in the league who are one piece away from making a serious title run. And that's why I think the Miami Heat would be perfect. Trading Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, and Nikola Jovic to Chicago for Demar could be great for both teams. As for Miami, their championship window seemingly is closing, and they might have pretty much peaked as a team. They have the talent, grit, and coaching to make it to the finals or Eastern Conference Finals, but they don't have enough firepower to win it. Adding a bucket getter like DeMar could be a game changer. He would add a whole new dynamic that the Miami and Butler era has never seen. We know their defense is tough, but an offense of Jimmy, Tyler Hero, Bam, and DeRozan is sure to give the best teams in the NBA a run for their money. All in all, I think these were some really interesting trade ideas, but let me know which ones you favor the most, and are there some that we haven't mentioned? If you want a part 2 to this video, let us know down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.